There's gonna be copyrights for that. There's gonna be copyrights. What is that?
I was playing the radio.
That was great.
Is that the spirit of the radio?
Yeah.
That was the spirit of the radio.
Brother.
I was out of tune, apparently.
Put a wet blanket on a perfectly good jam.
I thought it was the Star Spangled Banner for a minute.
It was not spirit of the radio. I can never figure that out. It's like
That's pretty much
fast.
it.
It's really fast though, right?
I'd say you got it.
Yeah.
Hey,
keep practicing like that, boy. Someday you could be a guitar player.
There's
Hi.
I'm pretty sure that I used to be able to play guitar. That's what happens when you're home for a year.
John asked to see the radio.
Oh yeah.
This
You
is
borrowed
Travis.
that, right?
Yes, I borrowed this from Travis. It's AM FM Naxa. Wait, the NR-712 by Naxa.
Wow, you really getting these brand names and model numbers together now, aren't you?
Right. It's the little thing.
That's an inside joke, folks, because before, like earlier today, Jen and I were working on something that we had to do for the upcoming virtual, whatever they're going to do in place of the usual NAMM show that we would do in January. We had to do some sort of a virtual version, which means we had to say stuff correctly on video. And you put the two of us in a room trying to say stuff correctly, and it's always a funky adventure.
Yep. Yep.
So anyway, we can't show you any of that because then that would make the manufacturers angry. But
yeah, but it
like how
sure was funny.
It was really funny. Yeah.
I like how you like to show the embarrassing stuff of yourselves, but you won't because other people don't want you to.
Right. Yeah. Hey, welcome to Outside the Inn. This is the Travis Larson Band weekly Q&A session. This is the last scheduled one tonight. And we will still come back and visit occasionally, but this is the last scheduled one. But I have to say, on behalf of all the TLB to the TLBers out there, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yay.
Happy New Year. New Year was just yesterday. So it's close enough, right?
That's true.
TLB played one New Year's gig in the entire history of our career, and it was on a Tuesday night, and it was at the Bistro, and we had catered like food. There was good food, and we rocked out. It was a lot of fun. I was looking for some of the topics tonight. I was looking through some old TLB archive footage, trying to find some stuff that I didn't actually find. But I found a video clip way back, like maybe like the first dozen videos on Facebook, and there was a crowd shot from one of our warm-up January Frog and Peach gigs, and man, it was batshit crazy. Like the whole crowd just completely packed in there. And we did the thing where Jen scanned the crowd with the camera, and everybody put their arms up and went nuts. And it made me really, go, wow, I'm glad we don't have to pay for any drunk people this month. No, I mean, it was, what it made me think was, oh, it's a bummer that we're stuck here and we're not out there. No, actually, it was really awesome. It was really fun to see everybody like packed in like sardines in a room. And
Boy, I sure could play the guitar back then.
Yeah, that's what I really thought. I thought, well, remember when we were musicians?
Yeah.
So
No.
Dale's been practicing those. So Jen and I are gonna this month. The reason we're gonna kind of lay off of these for a while is we're gonna get serious and actually start trying to learn how to play music again. So that way we can hopefully come up with some new music. And when all these, as this year progresses in a positive direction and things go better and better, then by the time hopefully we can pack everyone into a room like sardines again, we will actually have some new music to play. So
Yeah.
If we can't learn to play music again, what would you guys do for a job? This is like what would you do if you weren't a musician? What if you can't learn to play again?
I think Jen and I would make commercials because earlier today was fantastic.
I don't think anybody else would find that stuff funny but us. So.
You mean the video?
Yeah.
From earlier today? No, everybody would love it, but you can't show it. They would love it. But you can't show it because, we're not getting it right. We're not getting it right.
If you're not going to show it, then you might as well say they would love it.
People will love it. People would have never heard such a rhythm in a blues. Yep. To quote the great.
I would think lurking in the library would be really cool.
Yeah. Lurking in a library?
Is that a job?
Yeah.
I would like to
do that. As a job.
Just lurking?
Working. I didn't say
working in a library.
I thought you said lurking also. That's why.
Oh, really? I was picking food out of my teeth because I just hastily wolfed down some pesto.
Okay.
You know how pesto gets all in there?
Yes. Yeah. Like most of the food that I consume. It gets all in there. Okay, so because we were filming our little commercial earlier, I had to make a really quick dinner as well, and I got these like curry. It's like a curry thing. You get like
you talked about these before, the Thai bowls or something.
Yeah, like the Tasty Bites is what they're called, the brand.
Tasty Bites.
I will go out on a limb and say I'm getting no money from Tasty Bites, but if you need a quick, fast meal, it won't kill you, and it's tasty. Tasty Bites is pretty happening. It's the kind of thing that like the Moon guys would have. It's like it's a pouch of food that you can microwave, and all of a sudden you have like a freshly made meal with crispy vegetables still and all that stuff, but it's like there's no work involved.
I like Stephanie. Unwrapping is not making, Travis. True. But
there's a whole nother conversation there, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
So
everybody liked lurking in the library better than working in the library.
I could probably get paid for that somehow. I don't know how that would work, but
if lurking is a job
anywhere. And by the way, I want to say hi to Mary because she's been missing these. She works in the medical community.
Hi, Mary.
And so she was able to make it tonight for the final. It's not the final one, but it's the final.
Yes.
Hey, Joey Fabian is here too.
Hey, nice. Joey.
I just saw your Happy New Year yesterday, and I said Happy New Year back.
The end.
So we're good, right?
I know. We've been staying real close since the last time we played, right?
I'm an introvert. There's a lot of interaction.
At NAMM, yeah.
Yeah. I know we're not going to see so many people this year. I mean, yeah.
And Jeff Burdick is here. Yeah. Hi, Jeff. Jeff Burdick been supporting this band a lot. Oh, and Jeff Burdick, by the way, I wanted to say that I just took down my Christmas decorations because it's New Year's and that's when you do it, And Jeff Burdick gave us all some lovely Christmas trees last year.
Yes.
That his wife constructed. They're these kind of beautiful copper with various jewels and decorations hanging on them, and that actually went up in the house this year. And
it's my entire decor.
That is actually Dale's Christmas tree.
This is it next to my clock.
Oh, here, hang on. Let me get you. Let me get you all big.
Yeah.
Aww.
Is that a
glary?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see.
There you go.
There you go. I was going to say, is that a bike tire next to it? But it's a clock. Yes,
it's a clock. It's on top of my my space heater next to my clock. And yeah, that's my decor. Nobody
You
can say
put
I
that
didn't have
copper
Christmas
wire
gift.
right on top of a space heater.
Yep.
Could that cause problems?
No, but it'd be fun if I came back and it was a puddle with some ornaments in it.
I see Glenn. I see Greg. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Greg's somebody that we would see this time of year a lot too, because we would definitely be playing a couple of Bay Area shows. So, just to kind of talk a little bit about, because Jen and I spent the day working on this commercial. All we really had to do was talk for 90 seconds, but it takes longer than that.
It took like 40 minutes.
So the rule of thumb is, you take the amount of time it should take, double it, and then move to the next unit of measurement. So if it should take 2 minutes, then it'll actually take 4 hours.
My other favorite part about it is we're usually fairly economical about when we get dolled up. We kind of try and do multiple things. So we get dolled up for the show tonight, and so we had to do some video today. And
I got to make a Tinder profile. And
can you tell we put a lot of effort into getting dolled up? For instance. Me getting dolled up. Normally for the NAMM and tour and everything, I'd be looking all rock and roll and I'd get all dolled up. But this is for tonight. I put on this blue shirt and I put on this black hat, but I have this 30-year-old mountain climbing shirt on that I'm wearing, and it's frayed around the edges and there's holes in it. But if you cover that up with a nice royal blue shirt and a black hat, then you're dolled up. So. Luckily, the beauty is that there's some performance footage on this thing that we were working on today, so that people will actually recognize me when they see the whole video.
Right.
But if it was just Jen and I sitting there talking about gear, everybody would be like, "Who are these people?
Who is that guy?
Who's that? Who's the guy with Jennifer Young, that longshoreman?"
Right.
So. Joey says I look sexy at AF is the way the kids would say it on the line. Yeah.
On the line. Wow. Congratulations. I've actually never heard that old mannerism.
You haven't heard that yet? On the line?
On the line? Well, I guess I have. I don't know. Usually refers to a phone line.
I'm going to give a quick shout out while you mention on the line, because our friend Jen Majura from Evanescence, who people will know from my live stream performances, her and Larry Mitchell and I did a video of Little Wing, and I've since posted that people can check out. But Jen Majura today started a video series she's doing once a week on Saturdays. So if you miss us, this is kind of the point, right? If you miss us, you can go check out Jen Majura's videos, where what she's doing is a series called Jen Majura Off the Line.
Oh.
Nice.
And I think she might have gotten that idea of the title from an old man who talks like that. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's basically video of what us musicians do when you're not sitting on the interwebs talking to people or creating content. So
okay.
What do you do?
She posted her first one today, right?
She posted her first one today. Yeah. So
nice.
Very good.
And today's kind of the first introduction, but I kind of know what's coming, and they're really adorable. Like she's doing fun things with her family and stuff. Like the kind of things that you would do if you weren't a completely crazy musician who just hermited by themselves at their house, and people that hung out with their families.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, Greg says sleeping. Exactly. That's right. So
Bye,
yesterday
Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
She's probably gone.
No,
Yeah.
She said bye.
Oh, bye. Okay. So I was going to mention yesterday was New Year's, and so we had a 48-hour-long Twilight Zone marathon. That's really what New Year's is, in my world, because big partier. Although I did walk outside and videotape the noise of a distant house that had some party horns, and somebody was shooting off M80s in the valley here too. So I heard that.
There was some more visually spectacular stuff going on near where we live. Did you see any of that?
I caught I actually on my camera, I caught just a little bit of it, but it's just a teeny little flash in the corner because I'm so far away. So, let me tell you this story first of all, before I get into that. Because there's just not much else to do and we can't sleep because we're musicians. So I've been going on these long nighttime walks and sometimes a couple of miles. And so last night I was walking, and I walked all the way down to the water and then I like zoom back through the neighborhoods and back. You never see anybody out there. I'm walking up this street and on the corner, I see a silhouette of these two people. And I kind of recognize and I go, oh, it's Dale and his friend. And so I say, where are we going? And I've got like a hoodie on and it's dark and I'm a creepy looking guy with a beard in the dark and no answer. I go, where are we going? And Dale kind of looks over. He's like, excuse me? And I go, where are we going? He goes, oh crap. How did I not recognize your voice? And I said, so we're going to walk together and so we walked together for like half a mile.
What was crazy about that is we literally nobody broke stride. We're coming right into the exact same place at the same time. Nobody waited 20 feet for anybody. We were just right on the same exact path. Pretty funny. Yeah, we converged right at an intersection and then just kept walking together. Like it just happened. There's only about one block in that neighborhood in that tiny town where you decide whether you're gonna, make eye contact or acknowledge speaking, and that was right about there. And I was like, ignore this guy. What? Oh, it's Travis. Tim Brown is here. He says, if you need any photography done for future stuff, let him know. Tim did some great stuff back when we were playing a year ago. And there's some good pictures of me doing a warm-up gig at the Siren in Morro Bay, California. And there's some really cool, some of the solo Travis pictures that I've used for, press and stuff since last January was Tim. Took some really great pictures of me at that. So, and there's Werner. Hi, Werner. Hey, Werner.
Hey, Werner.
Werner says you need to adopt a dog. But I had Dale and his friends.
Chuck says you found Sleepy Bear. That was pretty astute one there, Chuck. That's a reference, of course, to when we first went into lockdown in about, I guess, April or March.
That's right.
Nobody was out, and it was kind of fun walking around at night then because, like, the animals are starting to rediscover the territory, and because there's no cars out and people out, and also the drug deals came wide out into the open in our small town. So I was parked out front of where I teach drums because even remotely I have to come to work, and somebody walks up to me and I remember that he didn't respect the distance because I'm sitting there in my car. I don't have a mask on and he didn't have a mask on. He walks real close to me and he goes, are you Sleepy Bear? I said, no, I don't think so. My favorite part is I don't think so. I'd love to know more about this, but I don't think it's me. And then there was that story. These are. I'm going to get back to my thing, but just you remind me some highlights. These are the 2020 highlights, right? Dale got accosted by a guy looking to buy some illicit substance, and then Dale also found a gun. Remember that? Yeah, I do remember that. He found a gun on the street one night, just in the middle of the road, tactical shotgun and a Glock, just with a bunch of shells and ammo. And I just looking at it because I'm like, this is a nice case. I'd like to just shake it out and dump all these guns and walk off. Right. Oh, wow. So I was going to say New Year's Day yesterday. So we had a 48-hour Twilight Zone marathon, which of course I look forward to every year. Now let's go back to that old man thing. I realized that you can just go watch the Twilight Zone. Like if you've got Hulu or any of this stuff, you could just go click on it. I think it's even on what's that other really Crackle? I think they're even on Crackle, right? Like you just log in and watch it, but there's something special about just discovering something, right? It's like when the Bond marathon was on for Christmas, if Bond is on, you watch Bond, but it's like, yeah, you could put the DVD in, but the fact that it's on TV, it's like a discover. Oh, okay. It's like, because you're sharing it with the world out there that you don't see. We're all watching Bond right now.
So that's old man stuff right there. That's the way old men look at it. But here's the thing. So this is my first New Year's Who's the Man.
Oh.
I started to type it, and then I think I got distracted. So now I have to remember what it was.
Okay, we can either talk about that or try to be quiet so we don't distract you.
Okay. What was I going to do with the Twilight Zone thing, though? I think I was going to do episodes. So Who's the Man? Is it? And it's going to be an episode of the Twilight Zone. And I'll do 2 classics. All right.
An episode.
Episode. Okay. So Who's the Man? Is it Nightmare at 20,000 Feet? The William Shatner episode?
William Shatner, yeah.
Or is it Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder?
Oh.
Who's the man? Twilight Zone geeks out there? Talk amongst yourselves.
This is another one I'm out of because I haven't seen Twilight Zones enough. I'm sorry. I grew up where there was no good things on TV. I was super isolated. Sorry.
So I only use Shatner as a reference.
We're talking about the episodes, not the.
Correct. That's why I only use Shatner as an episode. So I know everyone's going to say Shatner no matter what as a guy, but classic episode of the Twilight Zone, Beauty's in the Eye of the Beholder or Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, which is the one with the furry looking gremlin on the wing. It's like a guy in a bear suit with big lips.
I've only seen the reference to that in the movie. What? Sorry, Jen. What?
Well, describe the other one then, so people know.
Okay, so the one with the Captain Kirk is he's a guy in an air. Whoa, no, that's what I was just saying about. The Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder. I don't want any spoilers if they haven't seen it though. So because it's only a 50-year-old episode.
Yeah, there's a 35-year statute of limitations on spoilers.
20,000 Feet one is where William Shatner is losing his mind because he thinks he's seeing this gremlin, and at the end of the episode, they're locking him up. They got a straitjacket on him. They're wheeling him away on a gurney, and then they pan away, and you see that there's damage to the wing, as if he really saw this thing. Like the wing is kind of half peeled up, and there's damage to it. So it turns out the gremlin was real, and eventually people will discover this, right? The other one was a woman is in a hospital ready to be unbandaged after some treatment that's supposed to cure her of her ugliness because she's just grotesque and doesn't look like the rest of society. And so at the end, they slowly remove the bandages, and then they show everybody in the room, and she's like this beautiful starlet by our standards as human beings on this planet. And everybody else has these big, crazy, curly lips and eyebrows, and they look like mutants.
Pig noses.
So the idea is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because in that normal, everybody was ugly.
Okay.
To Serve Man, Glenn says that's a good one. I thought Beauty in the Eye of the Beholder was the one with the old man and the family who's waiting for him to die to inherit, and he has them put those masks on.
Nope.
And then their faces all changed to the shape of the masks.
No, that one's just called The Mask.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That's a good one.
Yeah. No, and Glenn's right. The other one I was almost going to talk about was To Serve Man, actually, he says it's with Burgess Meredith, but you're mistaken, Glenn. To Serve Man is not with Burgess Meredith, but it is with Richard Kiel, who played Jaws in the Bond movie. So we get a full circle conversation here.
But no, he's saying Burgess Meredith is the one Last Man on Earth.
Oh, I see. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's the great one. I love that one when he's like, I have all the time in the world and all the books, and then his glasses break off.
All the time in the world, all the food, all the time. Yep. Not that I know these.
You just have to go to find a glasses shop, really.
Right. Yeah, but they all broke because it was a big atomic explosion. So,
but then how come all the books burn?
I think everybody went with the Shatner episode out of my two choices, though.
Oh, okay.
No
one likes your two choices. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm going to save this other one for later, so remind me, because I've got another New Year's Who's the Man. Probably an easier one, because I couldn't really remember what my two choices were. I kind of came up with those one on the spot, and one of them was To Serve Man. That was another one. It's a cookbook. Okay, so people that are watching our social media in this last week saw that, and this goes with the Christmas Story. If you're a Christmas Story person, which how can you miss it? They have a Christmas Story marathon on Christmas as well. But you guys all know the major award from Christmas Story. And we've talked about when we went to Cleveland, the very first thing we did was we went to the Christmas Story house and we saw the major award, which is a leg lamp in the window of the Christmas Story house.
Yep.
So here's the thing. We won a major award.
Yay.
So everybody's asking about, there's two things going on this week. One is last week we won the best rock instrumental album at the JPF Awards, which we won 3 JPF Awards the last time that we were eligible for those, which was about 10 years ago. When did we figure out? Oh, it was longer than that, huh, Jen?
2006.
2006. Doesn't seem like that long ago, does it, Dale?
Seems like a long time ago to me.
It felt like 2009 to me.
Oh, okay.
Jen says it was 2006. So the first time we went to this awards, and here's the deal with the JPF Awards, just to explain them, because a lot of people asking questions about this. So the JPF Awards, JPF stands for Just Plain Folks, and basically it's an organization with there's somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 independent artists that vote on these awards, is my understanding. And I actually have the numbers for this recent win, the numbers of submissions. So we won best album, total album submissions to this JPF Awards, 17,700 albums. And they had 230,000 songs submitted. And
wow.
we actually, we were in there for some songs. We were like number 3. We didn't win, but we were, somewhere up there. What's that?
Nominated.
Yes. Thank you. So basically it's an independent music award. So one of their kind of catchphrase things that they put out there is they're statistically harder to win than a Grammy, because it's actually voted on by independent musicians, and it's not as political, and it's based on what they perceive as quality versus popularity. So
I think one of the criteria for the judges is, does it move you? It's what you have to keep. They say the judges have to keep asking themselves, does this move you? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember looking into that, like what you're talking about, how carefully the selection is made, and it really is an honor, those awards. It's cool when I learned more about the process. It felt good to get those awards.
So this is 2006 when we went to this thing, and by the way, it was on my mom's birthday. So we went. I can't get the pictures any bigger than this for our purposes here, but if you look really close, you can see that's me shaking hands with the presenter and organizer of this whole event. And I don't know where Jen and Dale are. You guys must be behind us or something. But we went. We had like a prime rib dinner. It was. Do you remember what theater this was at? It was in
the
Anaheim.
Galaxy Theater in Santa Ana.
Santa Ana. Okay, so this is at the. This was at the Galaxy Theater. I remember the guy who did the soundtrack for Titanic was there performing, and performed the Titanic theme on actual what were those things? The things that Irish guys play. No.
Oh, bagpipes.
Bagpipes. Yeah, he played bagpipes, and he had like a small orchestra behind him. So there I am waving and doing my speech. There's Dale behind me, looking exactly like he looks right now.
Wait, is that if I have long hair, then Jen's right about 2006, and if I have short hair, then 2009 would be right.
Yeah, you had long hair.
It says right there, fall 2006. So
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
So by that criteria,
yeah. So now, if I have long hair, then that is correct.
So, and there we all are getting our picture taken and all that kind of stuff.
So sorry, Jen. Every once in a while, it's like a whole tour. You just feel sorry for Jen hanging around with two knuckleheads.
And there, this is a picture I'm sure Jen took of Dale and I sitting at the dinner table. So get out of that. So, so that was the first awards show. My family was there. Somewhere there's video of this. It was a really fun event. It was cool. My mom's birthday was that day, so it was cool to take my mom and have her see us get some sort of recognition for all this crazy stuff that we do all these years. And then so this year with the COVID, I was literally sitting. I have like a little kitchen nook where I sit with my iPad, and I know a couple times a week some of us all join up on Larry Mitchell's live feeds. So I sit there. I'll have my iPad in front of me. I'll be eating dinner. I'll be watching Larry Mitchell's live feeds, and then this awards show was on last week. So I was sitting there eating my dinner, watching this awards show. And I have actual video of that too, which not quite as exciting, but it's really nice that they acknowledged us and tried their best to make it cool. So let me see if I can find that.
I remember at the original one, we were nominated and we went just like you would, and we didn't know we were going to win. It was like a real awards show. And when we won, we were like, oh, and you had to get up and walk the stage and don't trip.
Right. It's like, oh, geez, we got to get up there and say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also remember that we got back with our major award to our humble, modest hotel, and was going to all right, this feels great. I'm going to go out for a walk, but it started to open the door, and there was a hubbub outside with police. The Mesa police slammed the door back in my face, said, "Stay in your room, sir. Stay in your room."
Okay, so let me slightly correct this.
Okay.
We had to get to the awards because they were starting, and we were going to be late, and we couldn't leave the room because the police were arresting somebody outside the door.
It was before?
It was before.
Wow, I totally remember that happened afterwards. Okay.
No, so we were all standing. Now we were all standing in the room trying to leave the room to go, and we couldn't leave the room and go. And we waited like 5 minutes, and we're like, "You think we can go now?" And we were standing in this really crappy Motel 6 room with like my parents and my brother and us, like everybody let's get snazzied up, and we'll go in and we'll go get our award, right? And they're like locking some guy up right outside the door, and you don't want to get in the middle of it. But
I love how Dale so conscientiously doesn't refer to the hotel chain, and Travis throws it out there,
Well, big spenders back in the day, right? Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry, hang on.
How did you get elected to run this shooting match, anyway?
I guarantee you.
No election.
I guarantee you wouldn't have an easier time with this quality software I got as a free shareware. All right, you guys can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is us winning our major award.
Instrumental
rock. Right.
In fourth place. Travis Larson Band.
And we're against ourselves, by the way.
Third place.
And that's what you get to see.
I thought you said we won. That said fourth place.
It didn't finish.
Oh, I see.
You see how there's an internet problem right now. Well, you can imagine how exciting that would have been. Here, I can try and hit refresh, and we'll see if we'll do it again. I mean, what else are we doing, right?
Yeah, yes.
It's somewhere around 123. Let's try that again.
In fifth place.
Ooh, the best political social song.
Okay, this is the award before us.
John Kleinbell and Eric Anna Hall.
Hang on.
Artist. In fourth place.
Wait,
but it
Oh,
is.
no.
This is what it's like at the award ceremony. You're not in every category.
Songwriter
So
and artist,
right. You got to
Tina
wait.
Hartwick.
You got to wait through it. You know.
In third place.
I was so dialed
No
to do this
more, no
correctly.
less. Songwriter.
just
And
the
then
notion of us having the best
Krusty
political
and Alicia
social
Keys.
song.
It went bad
3
on us.
Miles to the River. Songwriter and
Okay.
artist Roland.
Okay, so it's the next one. Here we go. All right.
All right, here we go.
Instrumental
This is
rock
so exciting.
album.
Yeah.
I hope we
In
win.
fourth place. Shift.
Well,
Travis Larson.
In the
Band.
competition between us and ourselves, we
In
won.
third place.
Did the right
Awesome.
album win?
BZ 2.0. BZ Lewis. In second place.
That'll be a good discussion, Dale.
Right.
Ragged Hearts. Roland Nip.
Hey, that rolling
This
nips
year's
really
winner for
pulling.
best instrumental rock album. Sound Mind.
Yay!
Travis Larson Band.
Yeah.
Congratulations. These guys have won multiple times, and they've been a powerhouse in the instrumental rock category over the years.
Yep. Got to get that quote.
Yeah.
Is Brian using a flashlight above to like shine light on him? And those, what's happening there?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, sometimes that does the trick.
Just giving it that indie vibe.
So anyway, so that was our big win this year. But
Yay!
he was. So here's people ask, and by the way, Dale, this is a good topic. What should have won, Shift or Sound Mind?
Yeah.
Shift came in fourth. Sound Mind came in first.
Yep.
So
That's
everyone
like
can talk
our
amongst,
man.
yeah.
You know what
everyone
I'll
can talk
say?
amongst themselves. Yeah.
I slightly prefer Shift because I think it's the heavier big brother to Sound Mind. However, by those criteria of the JPF Awards of Does It Move You, I could see maybe Sound Mind pulling through on that.
I would agree.
Yeah. So people ask, why did a 9-year-old album win? So here's the deal.
I've been wondering this myself.
The gentleman that organizes this award had a stroke a few years ago. Brian Whitney, and he was recovering from this and going through a bunch of stuff for a while, and the awards had to kind of be put down because it's obviously takes a lot of work to sift through 17,000 albums and over 200,000 songs and organize that whole thing and find between 4,000 and 5,000 judges, and I mean it's a huge undertaking. So so this basically, we submitted these albums a long time ago, and that's why there's 2 albums submitted, and so we ended up with 2, and there's not a same criteria with these awards like there is with the Grammys, where it has to be something within the previous 12 months that was released. It's just as long as it hasn't been submitted to this awards show, then it's valid. So you can basically submit anything you want once, I believe. So that answers the question of how we ended up with Sound Mind as a winner in 2020. But and so by the time they have another awards show, we'll have another couple albums racked up, and we can hopefully get a few of them in the top 10. So that was that's the first thing. And then since I just had this glitch, I have to go find the other thing now. So you guys talk about this like it's exciting.
I have a joke.
Okay.
What's the award for being the best dentist?
I don't know.
A plaque.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was a great joke, Dan. A plaque. Okay, so then was it, I think it was it yesterday, or I think it was New Year's Eve. I got a phone call from my friend Ray Hayden, who we know as kind of a pillar of the Northwestern music community. He is basically our promoter when we go up to the Northwest. We play Seattle and Tacoma and that whole area. And we've stayed with him at his house many times. And he always does an amazing job of finding us a great venue, lining up support acts for us. He's a great keyboard player and piano player, and he plays in a bunch of bands up there. And his wife is a great musician. And so Ray did a solo piano album earlier this year. And the premise was these were all kind of solo piano pieces, the kind of things that you can have playing in the background if you were having dinner and those sort of things. They're really long pieces, and kind of just vibe music, for lack of a better description. And so what he did was he got a bunch of his musicians friends. I think Larry Mitchell did one, I did one, and a bunch of other people that he knew in the business. And what he did was he re-released the album a second time, having collaborations with musicians that took those solo piano pieces, and we were allowed to do anything we wanted. We could rearrange them and change them, because he wanted it to be a real collaboration. And some people made them into full band songs. They took his parts and they added full bands to them with drums and a rhythm section and changed. So what I did with mine, because usually in TLB, we talked last week a lot about the duets. Jen and I will do bass and acoustic guitar duets. And I'd never done a piano and acoustic guitar duet. So I thought there's a perfect opportunity to do something like that. So I said, yeah, Ray, I'll play on this for you. And he sent me the track, and I chopped it up, and I rearranged some things, made it make more sense to the way my sensibilities are, shortened it up quite a bit. So it's kind of a different version, but it still has this general sense of what he originally did, because it's still kind of a solo piano piece. And then I intertwined all this acoustic guitar with it, which is basically I was just channeling my best Michael Hedges. That's what seemed to make sense with what he did, because he was playing a lot of repeating arpeggios and things like that, and cascading piano parts. So I kind of intertwined with it with all this acoustic stuff, and then sent it to him. He put it out there. I was proud of it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That was a lot of fun to do, and I got to play something different. And then he called me on New Year's Eve, and he says, "Hey, brother, I'm just calling you to wish you a happy New Year and tell, Jen and Dale I love them, and happy New Year to you guys," and all this stuff. And then he goes, and also, I just wanted to let you know, I just posted this post. We got nominated for a World Songwriting Award for our collaboration. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. And I said, so when do we know about this? He goes, well, I think it's later in January that they put it out there. So so this is the post that he sent me, which is just, this is the Facebook post, so you can see the visual. So we're nominated for this World Songwriting Award. And then I actually have the page up with the link to the song, and I won't necessarily play it here, but what I will do right now is I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to throw it in the feed here, so that people can check it out for themselves. You can copy and paste it or whatever. But, like I say, it was very different for me. It wasn't like something that Jen and I would do acoustically. And it was cool. It was definitely something that, I wouldn't play on something if I wasn't going to really, work hard on it. So I put some time into it. I spent a couple of days really trying to figure out. He's doing these cascading piano parts, and I tried to double some of that on guitar, where we did sort of a unison thing. I used a little bit of, there's a Steve Vai tune off Fire Garden where it's a piano and guitar, acoustic guitar duet as well. I can't remember the name of it, but I used that as a little bit of inspiration, where basically Vi and Keneally are doing this unison, really virtuosic piano and guitar thing. And so some of it was a little bit of that too. But so I got nominated for that. So it's the month of awards, apparently. So, and we'll see if we win, but it's just cool to be nominated. World Songwriter Award.
That's awesome. Nice.
So how about that?
Congratulations,
Cool.
Ray.
Yes,
and
congratulations.
Yeah. So, and Ray should be here right now, but he's not. I don't see him. I see another Ray. But all right. Well, let's see. What else do we have? I was going to talk about one more Who's the Man with the New Year's thing. and then let's talk about like some New Year stuff. So this is a New Year's Day specific Who's the Man, and it's not really a man, it's just a Who's the Man. And I don't know if you guys are eligible for this. We might have to throw this out to the audience because there's going to be prejudice. But who is the man? Rose Parade or Macy's Parade?
Okay, we'll catch what these responses are.
Right?
Yeah, but it's still that's their like it's like their equivalent, you know.
Well, if we're not allowed to answer, bring it on in.
Yeah.
Well, of course I have to say Rose Parade because
you don't have to.
Well, I don't have to, but I feel like the Macy's Parade every year, Snoopy cuts loose and tries to kill a guy.
That sounds good. Are you saying that's good or that's bad?
I mean, it's probably not a good thing, but
that's the reason. That's the reason to tune into a parade right there.
Right?
Snoopy tries to kill a guy.
They got the Rockettes on that Macy's Day parade.
Chris says Macy's. Chuck says Rose. Neither, Stephanie. Macy's. Tournament of Roses. Rose.
So
I don't think I could watch a parade on TV. I'm the most negative TV contributor this last 2 episodes. I feel terrible.
Okay, here's the thing that you're missing out on, Dale. And some very few people will know about this. Some of you guys will know about this, but Stephanie says Snoopy is the man.
Yeah, there you go.
Glenn says he likes the whole balloon thing. But I was going to say, here's the deal, Dale. So the Rose Parade every year, you know, it was Stephanie Edwards and Kevin Eubanks for like 50 years, right?
Okay.
And they would sit there and they would talk about the Rose Parade. And they spent 6 months growing these chrysanthemums so that they could go into this, you know, in 1905, this horse was famous for whatever, and they duplicated it in this, you know, in this wonderful float designed by Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, you know, or whatever. Right. So Stephanie Edwards retired, and then Bob Eubanks retired because he wasn't going to do it without Stephanie Edwards. It's a whole thing. And so then you got these new people. Nobody cares about these new people. I'll talk shit on these new people all day. Nobody cares. It's Bob Eubanks and Stephanie Edwards. So here's the greatest thing ever. Will Ferrell and what's her name that does Superstar?
Oh yeah.
From Saturday Night Live. So they started doing a thing where they did a parody of parade announcers that don't exist. Like they became characters, and they were basically doing a parody of characters like that had been doing the parade for like 50 years.
Right.
And they started doing it over the last couple of years, and that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was, doesn't get any better than that. I think it was on Amazon Prime, maybe. What's that, Jen?
It's almost like NPR characters.
Yeah, exactly. Molly Shannon, thank you. Yep. Yes. So Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon were doing the Rose Parade. So in my book, you can't beat the Rose Parade.
Yeah. I don't have too much against parades, but as an ADHD child, it has to be so good for you to sit still in front of a TV. And then here's the other thing. When you're in junior high or high school and you're playing in parades, here's one that the kids probably won't relate to. You got like this 20-year-old wool scratchy thing that's been handed down from every year band program to the next year school band program, and you're out marching, doing something physical in a wool sweater, scratchy wool sweater. So there's, you know, a little bit of emotional trauma to playing in parades. It's terrible. It's not a fun experience.
Right.
I don't want to watch a parade, but you did get to beat the crap out of a snare drum, so that's fun. I'll give it that.
Jen, I used to go to the Christmas parade here locally, and it goes around the town in a big circle, you know, like around downtown, like in a big horseshoe.
Mm-hmm.
So we would walk against the parade so that we'd knock it out in like 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's a great idea.
We do that every year. Like we'd, you know, so it's like, okay, here it comes. And you'd be at Santa Claus in 10 minutes and you'd be like, all right, I got my parade fill, but I didn't feel like I had to sit there freezing my ass off for 8 hours.
That's a great idea.
We would never even have to get seats because we'd just show up and walk. we'd show up, we'd get burritos, at TA's where we used to sit with Kip and watch the fights after playing in downtown gigs.
Hey, I'm sorry if you already covered this. But did they have them this year? Did they just have them?
What, the parades?
Yeah, did they?
No,
did they not?
You can't do any of that.
I was thinking it might be like NFL where you just play to the empty street, where you just have a parade and there's nobody on the streets. I'd watch that.
I did watch the ball drop up until it was starting to drop, and then I went outside to listen to stuff explode.
Yeah.
But the ball drop was kind of cool because they still did it, and they made these little they had these like little boxes down there with the same kind of guardrails that they would normally have for the million people that go down to Times Square. But they only had about 300 people, and they were all first responders and their families.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty nice. I mean, it was cool. They got to do that. They had like separate boxes basically for each group, each family. And then I was, I'm thinking the people that were down there announcing this thing this year, that had to be kind of, I know it's weird for the rest of the world, but for them, it had to be kind of a cool experience because they could just go down there and park, and it wasn't just completely psycho, right?
Yeah, right.
There's not like a million people down there, and you're going to be stuck on the trains, and then the trains are going to shut down because it could be late. And you're never going to get home to Long Island.
Totally.
So that had to be kind of cool for the people that had to work it. But
right.
All right, Jen wanted to talk about highlights from 2020.
One is a strong word. I said, what are we going to talk about?
Well, I brought up, actually last January, which was 2020.
That's true.
We did our last gig that we played. So we went out and we did our normal January tour, and leading up to the NAMM show. And then I will say last NAMM show was the busiest NAMM show I've ever had in the whole history of my career. I mean, we've been really busy before, but I've never done a show every single night and played every hour on the hour at the booths during the day like I did last year. But we did the X Jam where we had the Zappa band playing, and Andy Timmons, and a whole bunch. We jammed with Teddy Kumpel and all these guys, and so that was a blast. Me and Mike Keneally and Teddy Kumpel played some Jeff Beck, and there's some cool video of that out there somewhere, and video of TLB playing. So there were some highlights. They just ended about 3 weeks into January.
That was a great show to be the main show of the year.
So, but like throughout the year, I mean, basically, I don't know what you think, Jen, getting stuff done that we wouldn't have gotten done. I mean, we've talked about a lot of the work that we've gotten done just in the homesteads, the various, cutting trees down and cleaning up crappy looking yards. And
yeah, there was definitely a lot of chores that got accomplished. You remember back when this all started and the big run on toilet paper? What an exciting time that was. Trying to find toilet paper. And yeah, man, that was like oh my God, I wish it was like that again. Anyway.
You wish you were running on toilet paper? We did that like 2 weeks ago, right?
Anyway, I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I spent a lot more time like eating food that I've never taken the time to make before on a more regular basis than I've ever eaten, as much and as well as I've eaten this year.
Good.
Yeah. As far as, I mean, on a regular basis, because it's pretty hard to eat on the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
totally organized his sock drawer. Yes.
Who did?
That is a highlight. Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Nice.
It was mostly outside. I had to get to the inside chores.
And in a strange way, as much as we're not connecting with people, I've been able to connect with people a lot more that and some people that I would want to connect with more, texting friends of mine and people that never have the time. I don't want to just do a bunch of name dropping, but a lot of musicians that are usually really, really busy. I'm able to actually have some more correspondence with that nobody ever has the time to respond. So, it's like you get guys like Luke who are out with, Toto and all year long and playing with, I'm going to say Zach Starkey, because I can't remember his Ringo Starr. Thank you. Like, the guy from the Beatles, it's like guys like that just tour all the time and never have time. So it's like little quick snippets of back and forth and things. And, it's like, I so many nice Happy New Year messages yesterday from people that you don't expect to get New Year's messages from. And,
right.
So that kind of stuff is cool. It's been cool to kind of connect more with people that, that you really would love to connect with and just haven't had the time. And then we were able to create some video content for most of the Annika record, which had no video content until this year.
Yep. Dale, you have anything to add?
I don't know. I guess I've had less time than normal during this whole year, but I'll count that as a positive. Like I'm doing half the work that I was doing, but that work took me 3 times as long to accomplish for a long time because the learning curve of Zoom lessons and how to get people the materials they need. I went through a couple of pictures the other day of, like, normally I'll teach till about 7, and then I'll wrap up some stuff and send off a few links or emails or notes to people. I see I even said send off. They're here in person normally. So like, I'll make some notes to myself and I'm out of here half an hour after work or I'm done with it. And I have some pictures from a month or 2 into this, and there's like a dark room with a light above it and 150 pages or so of me trying to make notes to give to people to scan and email to them, and then just figure out how to organize all this stuff. And I would hear till 1 a.m. all the time. And so, but I feel so fortunate that all my students stuck with me. I mean, this is impressive to me too. They sort of, I think, appreciated that effort, because I would sort of expect people, you make all that effort all the time in whatever work you do, and it kind of goes unnoticed, but really people did notice it. So that was heartwarming too. So I'm frazzled and don't have any time, which is odd. But I count it as a positive that I have, like, gigs are all gone, like local things that I might do, but my lessons are here and I'm super appreciative of that. So that's a highlight. And, I got over that technological hump. By the way, that whole thing that I was doing earlier, I've gotten much more efficient at. I no longer am here till 1 a.m. I have an iPad that I can write notes on and just hit send, and they get it during the lesson. So I've combated my old manness a fair amount during this year. I've gotten over the technological hump of online lessons. One of the things that, this is just an aside, but it's funny to me. So many people have so much time on their hands. Trav was saying it's nice to connect with people you normally don't have time to connect with, or they don't have time. I wonder if my not keeping in touch with people seems like 4 times the amount of ignoring, because people are just sitting around and I'm like, crap, I don't have any time. But yeah, I would say, I find myself looking forward more than, like, I would have thought that I'd be somebody who ran and lifted and worked out constantly and practiced, because I usually am kind of OCD that way, and I haven't done hardly anything. So looking forward to turning this thing around as far as my fitness and my diet and everything like that. So
there's definitely something to be said for the fact that we dug into a bunch of technology that we never would have. And, even I just, for New Year's, I posted a snippet of one of the live stream concerts that Jen and I did. That was, now we have like this multicam setup. So in the future, even when we're back, to going out and touring and things, it'll be kind of cool to be able to maybe do like some pre-album release live stream things like this, maybe before we go out on tour, to just kind of help connect with people before a tour. And we have the resources to do these kind of things now, where I mean the resources were there before, but now you've had the time to really dig in and figure out how to make them work. And so, but yeah, I posted a version of People Get Ready 2 days ago from one of those, and that's out there if anyone wants to check that out. I put that on all the social media because I don't know, that seemed like an apropos tune for New Year's, the closest thing I could come up with whatever we had done over the year. Do you guys believe in resolutions? Jen, do you think in terms of New Year's resolutions ever, or
no? I have daily resolutions. So yeah, I don't know. I've never been a New Year's resolutions kind of person. How about you?
Well, I think we all tend to just constantly be trying to resolve.
Yeah, that's why mine is more of a daily resolution.
I mean, like I never look at it like I'm going to decide to do that. I mean, the biggest one this year, which isn't really a resolution, is, Jen and I are planning seriously to schedule time where we're going to start working. That's not really a resolution. It's not like I would like to eat more beets,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I kind of do my best every day to try and do the best I can. And sometimes you do less best than others, but you kind of are looking at your surroundings and the future based on that. Like I said, I kind of let my healthy eating and my exercise and things like that lapse a little depending on what's coming up or what's not coming up.
Right.
Not like I get completely out of control, but I definitely need to be starting to play more guitar. I've been playing a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and my calluses are really not there. Like, so I need to start really playing to where I can not be hurting when I play. So
what I thought was interesting about this year early on was there, and I talked at length with Brian about this, Brian Beller, and it felt like artists were feeling pressure to create, because you suddenly had this time, whether it was content or even just artistically to create. And it was a strange feeling because everyone was doing it kind of, or, because they had the time. And Brian and I talked a lot about this, where we both were just like, kind of soothing ourselves, saying we don't have to give into that pressure. If you're not feeling like creating, then just don't, even though you have the time and this weird alone space right now. And for me, I kind of didn't do a lot in my head. I was like, man, I could go do this, and I want to do that and all this stuff. But then when I would try and do it, it was never worthy somehow. And I think it's just because this universal shitty energy going on wasn't feeding a positive place with my creativity. So I had to come to terms with embracing that it's okay to not have to create when you have this downtime, and that was a weird experience for me. So
almost every musician I know is feeling that too. They, even ones that appear to be out there doing stuff, they may be doing stuff to kind of keep the ball rolling, so to speak, but they're not necessarily being creative and coming up with new material or those kind of things. And I hear it described two ways. One is there's no input, so how do you output?
Right.
And for me, I suppose it's kind of like that, but for me, it's more when I see a goal. We're very kind of goal oriented in a way of seeing the end result of something and being able to make it real for the world. Like, I want to create a great album so that I can go share that with people and play it. Right. it's really a vehicle to be able to go out and perform and share a room with people and hopefully create some good energy with a group. So to me, when I start seeing the possibilities of that, then I start getting my dander up again a little bit. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
when that breath got pulled out from all of us, it was like, what are we going to do this for? A little bit.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because there should have been. I mean, that's that pressure thing. There's a part of me that's like, well, we should be creating just to create. I don't know. Yeah, it was a messy psychological year.
Yeah, but I feel now a little bit like, like I said, there's starting to be a little bit of a fire because I know our timelines, and I know we spent 8 months on a record. So I'm starting to look at the timeline going, okay, now we kind of need to start worrying about this. And I'm just kind of feeling like a little more excited about it. I mean, I came in the other day and even was just kind of playing around with some simple ideas, and it was kind of like, ooh, okay. Oh, and then you start thinking about things. But for me, it's always about how is this going to translate to good energy in a room full of people? It's so I kind of think of it in terms of, this would be really cool to be able to play this part, and Jen and Dale play this part, and that would that'd be like so great, and it'd be so fun to do live, and people would think it looks exciting. It's like I think of in terms of like that. So obviously I do sit there and dig into albums and love the journey of an album. I mentioned with Annika, that was my favorite album to go on bike rides and really listen to as a whole when we were mixing that record. And I was trying to check it out like with an outside perspective of what would this album be like as a journey for a whole listen to somebody that just puts it on. And so I do think of things that way, but that doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is the idea that we're going to all go out and do this, and it's going to be an exciting event. So now that I see there's a potential that could start happening, now I'm starting to think, okay, we should probably start getting ready for this. We should start putting some stuff together. I see Joey Fabian says he's producing a record and it's good.
Nice. That's cool. That's exciting.
So Gina says, like cooking meals for an empty house. Although I am cooking meals for an empty house every night, and it's like I'm cooking for a house full of people that aren't here and eating all the meals. I just can't be stopped. And then
you need to learn how to freeze.
I dug into the gigantic sausage. I've been getting into that every night. Right. Last week, I think we shared our Christmas gifts, and I got a gigantic sausage. And right. So I've been digging into that. And let me tell you, it's a summer sausage. It's like that big around. And you can like cut like that much off, and you find out that's like a huge plate when you add crackers and cheese to it. It's a huge plate of food after you've already had dinner and dessert.
Nice.
How do you not gain all kinds of weight, Travis? How is that possible?
Well, I am gaining all kinds of weight. I'm just keeping it under this shirt.
Okay.
Stephanie says she loves a gigantic sausage.
Wow. There you go. I was thinking there's a joke in there somewhere, and there it is.
Right?
Golf clap.
So anyway, I am feeling a little bit, it's like, I remember when Chuck Berry was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he goes over to start, like Johnny Carson asked him to play a bunch of songs that he hadn't planned on playing. He goes over with the band and he flips his amp on and he goes, "The juice will come in a minute." And it always makes me think of that because the juice is a euphemism. It's not just the amp warming up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I remember when we were in the studio with Lukather, and he said the same thing, and he wasn't talking about the amp. He was just like, he's like, "Give me a minute. The juice will come in a minute."
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then, and then he starts and then it starts just coming because, when the pressure is on, all of a sudden, then you start feeling, then the creativity starts writing itself. We talk about how albums write themselves in a way, and that doesn't mean they're easy, It's like I describe it like if you were a guy that designed big, complicated, amazing buildings. You have a big piece of paper and you could draw this building, and okay, that's the demo, right? Now go build it. So, the building is the hard part. And if you like Gina said, an empty house, if you don't think anyone's going to show up to that building, then why build it? So now you start feeling like people are going to show up to the building, then maybe we should start building it.
There's a lot of really great metaphors going on right now, or analogies. I mean, not metaphors, analogies. Metaphor, analogy, they're all there. Yep. Sausages, buildings.
All right, what else you got? We got anything that anyone needs to know?
Last chance for a regularly scheduled Q&A.
Yeah, so the deal is we're gonna occasionally show up and do these. I mean, not without notice. I will put up events on Facebook like I do for these, and we'll let people know that we're going to do one. But we're not going to keep up on the every Saturday thing. Maybe it'll be like once a month or once every other month. It just depends on what we're dug into. But if we're in the studio working on stuff and we're really focused on that, then we don't want to necessarily be breaking that stride. And plus, when we come back, maybe this beard will be down to like here.
Yeah.
Be like time-lapse beard growth.
Sweet. Chunks
and,
of sausage in it.
And then occasionally we'll do maybe some of the live stream performances still too. I think that'll happen because I have all this gear around me, all these cameras and umbrellas and stuff, and so we might as well use them. But part of the reason that I'm starting to play the keep up on the old material is just to stay in shape. I'll just play through the songs that I pretty much know just as a workout. So as long as I'm doing that to be able to play new material as we work on it, then maybe I can pop on here and do occasional live stream performances.
Cool.
Chuck says, "Well, Travis, look
I
like
have a
Letterman."
joke.
Go.
This comes from Jerry McGrew, one of our very wonderful fans in the Bay Area. And
right.
I would like to specifically say thank you to everyone who's been hanging out with us for all of these Saturdays. What has it been, like 39 or something?
Yeah, and it would have been 40. It's 40 weeks, but I did the one Can't Stop the Blues live show. So,
I mean, 40 weeks or whatever that's incredible to me. And it's just been so cool to see everybody here. And I know sometimes these things are kind of like blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes we'll have really cool guests, and then sometimes we won't. But in any case, everybody's here, and it's been really super cool. And anyways, Jerry emailed me a joke for a joke of the week. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, Yep. So where did the baseball player go when he needed a new uniform?
Where?
New Jersey.
Great. Good. That was a legit
Thank you,
good
Jerry.
joke.
And I will say honestly too, first of all, I was going to sing 40 weeks in the hole. 40 weeks in the hole. Yeah, that's for the classic rock fans out there. But I was going to say that this is as much for us as it is for anybody else, I mean, for me anyway. It's some of those weeks, this is like when I get off of here, it's the best I feel all week long. So,
nice.
So hopefully the creativity and working on a record will take up the slack for that. Or I'll get into my dark apocalypse now in a cave, eating grapes, making a really great record. The horror.
Well, you'll be well acclimated to the isolation it takes.
Right. Yeah.
This is a complete sidetrack, but I listened to an interview with Scott Glenn the other day, and I didn't realize he was in Apocalypse Now.
Huh.
I don't know if anybody realized that. But Scott Glenn, of course, from The Right Stuff and Training Day and all that stuff. Amazing actor who, that guy is 80 years old now.
Huh.
Oh, my
80
word.
years old.
Wow.
Still looks like he looked in 1985.
Wow.
Still lean and buffed up.
Huh.
Talked about how he used to do ice climbing, after he did that K2 movie or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, and that's just a sidetrack. It was an interesting interview, but I didn't have any clue he was in Apocalypse Now. And then I looked for the scene, and he's the soldier that when Martin Sheen gets to the shore at the very end of the movie to walk up to go see Marlon Brando, he's the soldier standing there with big rifle and all kinds of war paint and everything on him. And I was like, wow, I had no idea he was in that movie. I didn't know that guy had been around that long. But apparently, because he's 80. So,
yeah.
Glenn says, it has been great hanging with you and all fellow TLB pals. I don't know if I would have ever had the chance to hear anything about earwax. This is true.
Some shows were better than others. That's what I was saying.
Well, yeah, but the lesson of the story, if you ever have mass earwax build up in your ear because you're a musician who wears earplugs all day, is when you get that squirter out, don't do it more than 5 times. It says right on the directions, do not squirt more than 5 times or go see a doctor. I went that one extra time and it got the earwax out and then my head exploded.
Yeah.
So, am I missing anything? I'm looking through
Dale?
my notes here.
Oh, Sam says it's been nice getting to know you all better. So that's how we feel.
I did miss something.
Oh.
Since this is the last one before this, January 7th, next Friday or Thursday, is Jennifer's birthday.
Oh, brother.
Jennifer Young's birthday this Thursday. So I'll come up with some sort of Jen and I like to tease each other online and find pictures that shouldn't be posted sometimes.
I posted a nice one last time.
Yeah, you did. So maybe I'll find a nice one. I was actually for tonight's show, I didn't have time, but I was going to dig around and see if I could find like a baby picture or a childhood picture or something. But
oh, brother.
I
know. I have a picture I can send you that would be hilarious. Not that you get to choose the picture, but anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But so this Thursday, which we would absolutely be playing probably in the Bay Area this Thursday if this was not going on. I mean, that's exactly what we would be doing. We would be playing probably in Hayward or in Concord, and then working our way up the coast, and then working our way back, and then playing at the NAMM show. So, so I hope everybody, keep an eye out on our pages. There might be some fun stuff to check out. We'll see what happens with all I don't know what all the companies are doing with NAMM, but maybe next time we come back here privately, we'll show the outtakes, and then we'll delete them. None of the company people are watching this show. None of those people care, right? Nobody's watching.
No, it's just that.
I wanted to say too. I mean, I'm really not on Facebook very often, and I apologize if people message me and I don't get back for a long time. I don't do that very well, and thank you for being understanding about those sorts of things. So I just want to put that out there for everyone, so I wouldn't have to message everyone individually and apologize.
Yeah. So Dale, I think we should sing happy birthday to Jen, and I think you should sing along with me, and I'll just hold my ground, and we'll see how that goes with the delay that's caused by the interwebs. So I think it's going to go something like this. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Right.
Happy birthday, dear Jen. Happy birthday to you.
How much lag was there?
Thank you.
I couldn't hear Dale. Could you hear Dale?
No. Not really. But it was fantastic nonetheless. Thank you.
Maybe mine dominates. Maybe that's the.
Yeah, Travis is always just over the top of everything, you know.
We try it again, and I'll go. Happy birthday.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm talking over the top of you.
Got it. Okay.
So, all right. Well, anything before I give my pitch?
This will be a nice tidy length after those Joe Rogan
I
length.
know. I probably go to bed on time for a change at 8:30 in the evening. Anyway,
yes, thank you to everybody for sticking out the album discussion. I've been pondering maybe taking those and creating a playlist that would be album centric, and I'm going to figure out which podcasts were about which albums and actually put that in the descriptions, you know, if anybody wants to go back and check those out. I haven't done it yet, but and I did have a big rant. Sorry, Dale, I know you're here already.
He's all ready. Like, come on.
I do have a quick rant that I forgot about. Let me tell my quick Facebook rant, which is, so every week we do these, and then after them, I download the file from Facebook with a hack that I figured out a long time ago, where I make my computer think that this is the mobile version of Facebook, and then you're able to right click and save video as, and then I upload it to YouTube as well, so that we have a YouTube version. The reason we don't broadcast on both things at the same time is because with this particular program, to do that, you have to pay money. So screw that. So but I do put them up on YouTube as archives. But so for 4 episodes or so, about a month ago, 5 weeks ago, they changed your ability to be able to download the videos from Facebook. And then what they did was they created an actual button that said download the video, which was amazing. And then so for 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, something like that, then I was able to download it again, and you were actually allowed to. It was like they're going, people are trying to download this video, so I'm going to create a way to do it. And then they took that away again. So now I think a week or two ago, the YouTube versions are really out of sync and horrible, because what I had to do is do like a screen recording and then upload that. Okay. But here's the thing. This is for people that want to download videos on Facebook. I figured out a second hack. Okay. And I'm putting this out there because I know there's some musicians watching and people that might want to grab a video from Facebook and they can't figure out how to do it. If you want to grab a video from Facebook, you go on your computer, you go to Facebook, you go to the page that video is on. You replace the www with M basic. So it used to just be M for mobile, and that created the mobile version. They changed that to trick you. But if you do M basic and then .Facebook and so on and so on. So basically the www gets replaced with M basic. You do this on your computer, then you go to the video, play it, right click on it, and you can save as, and you can put the video on your desktop.
Okay.
So that's our technical savvy update for the night. If you want to steal videos from Facebook that they don't want you to have,
you're going to get your kneecaps broken.
Yeah. Or they'll just keep shutting me down, but who cares? You know,
right.
I pay my Facebook fee like everybody else.
With your soul.
So God bless everybody. Thank you for joining us for the last 40 weeks. Thank you for joining me on my live streams. We will do occasional live streams and stuff. The support Travis Larson Band links are still in the description here, as well as of all the whole archives of these videos. If you get lonely and you've missed any of these, there's 40 weeks of stuff. The last 5 or 6 weeks, we've talked for 2.5 hours a night. So there's a lot out there if you get bored and you want to come hang out with us again while we're working on this record.
Sure, those watching will alleviate boredom. Just mentioning, but
yeah. And I will mention that because Jen's birthday is coming up Thursday, Jen is still signing every copy of her book that you buy. So if there's any reason to still buy something after the holidays, but we do appreciate any support. And there's been people out there really, throughout this that have been trying to support us. And we really, really appreciate your help. We wouldn't be making it through a lot of this without your support, honestly.
Werner.
So, hi, Werner. So thank you guys. And yeah, I don't know. What else you got? Anything?
Just thank you again, everybody. Go.
Yeah.
Just thank you again, everybody. Rah! Okay, go, Dale.
Thanks, everyone. What?